Hi, I'm Cindy Halpern, and I'm going to talk about change. If you think about it, autumn is about change. Autumn can also be referred to as fall because the leaves fall off the trees. But basically, it's about new beginnings. It's about change. It's about letting go of the old and bringing in the new. And the transition of doing that is, frankly, very difficult on me. Autumn used to be maybe a nice season for me. It was Halloween. It was both my older brother's and my older sister's birthday. It was Thanksgiving. And it was just generally a happy season for me. And it isn't now. Both my older brother and my older sister have passed away. And Thanksgiving, well, Thanksgiving used to be about a gathering of family, and it isn't for me like that anymore. Ted and I sit in front of the TV and eat Boston Market. This year I have the treat to visit my daughter in December, Hanukkah season, so that will be a happy thing. But I look at the leaves, on the ground. They're turning brown and yellow. The trees are bare. And it's depressing. It's cold out. I don't do well in the cold with my asthma, not well with the wind. Also, we're coming up on my 19th anniversary of losing my sister Anita. She died tragically. She didn't take high blood pressure pills, and she died of a massive stroke. She became brain dead, and my mother had to have her taken off life support, and my mom and my late stepfather and I basically watched her die. So that's a somber feeling. I'm not going to pretend I was close to my sister. I wasn't. I would have to say at times I even disliked her. But I still cared about her, and she had a tragic end. She was 45. She was supposed to go to her Cranston High School year reunion. She had her dress all picked out, and she was ready to go. And she passed away on November 24th, 1995. She didn't get to go, and so I asked my mom if we could please bury Anita in the dress she selected to wear to her high school graduation reunion. Mom agreed, and she was buried in that. And I just remember going through a desk of drawers my sister had. Mostly my mother and stepfather went through things, but I was able to get the desk of drawers that my sister had put on layaway. And I found the slip, and I found out, and I got it out of the layaway, and I kept it for a very long time until I moved out of Narragansett Parkway into an apartment when I broke up my house from my separation and divorce. And I kept that for a long time. I wanted to hold on to something of hers that she had worked hard for and that she had wanted. And like I said, I had a very difficult relationship with Anita. My sister was mildly retarded, and there were a lot of misunderstandings, and I was up to 10 years younger than her, and I was more intellectual, obviously, than her, and my father was drawn to that. He told me his tales about Liberate Dachau concentration camp, and obviously he couldn't share that with her. She had limited intelligence. She was mildly retarded. She could understand things. She could be trained. Some things perhaps were beyond her, but my father chose to share that with me. He couldn't share it with her, and my father wanted me to be a lawyer. I obviously didn't do that. I went on to be a counselor, a social worker, and a writer. But still, my sister Anita, I think of her dying at 45, and that she had somewhat of a life. She did travel, and she did things. She loved gambling in Atlantic City and Las Vegas, and that was her thing, and that's not my thing. But we both had that in common. We both liked to travel. I actually went to Las Vegas with my boyfriend a few years ago, and I thought of both my brother and my sister, because my brother had won a trip there with the Muscular Dystrophy Association. So he had been there, and my sister had been there, and my little brother only went to Disney World. He didn't live a long time, he lived to be 15, but he never went to Las Vegas. So when I went to Las Vegas, specifically Hoover Dam, where my brother went with my parents on a side trip from Las Vegas, I thought of my brother Russell. Russell was almost a Halloween baby. Halloween is the 31st of October, and Russell's birthday was October the 29th. So I think of Russell, and Russell was average intelligence. And he was cheerful and outgoing. He loved sports. He could tell you everything about sports that there is to know. And he was a very cheerful person. He also got to be sportscaster for the girls basketball team at Rhode Island College, and that was his aspiration to do that, and he got to do that. And Russell actually traveled quite a bit to the Caribbean with my mom. And so in those 23 years he squeezed in a lot of life. He should have had more, of course, a lot more. But Russell was very optimistic and happy-go-lucky and cheerful and popular. He was vice president of Bain Junior High School, 9th grade. And he had a crush on the president, Brenda Swenson. I think that's probably why he wanted to run in the first place. So I just have these memories of fall. A week from today, my boyfriend and I go on a cruise to the Caribbean, and that will break me out a little bit of these blues a little bit, because the weather will be warm, of course. And I'll end on a cheerful note.